Good morning, everybody. This is our astrology forecast for September 8th, 2025. And we have a multi layered day today. We have a few things going on in terms of transits. The moon does continue through Pisces and makes a conjunction to Saturn. And that's going to mark a lot of the day until about 2:38 p.m. Eastern Time. And the moon moves into Aries and things loosen up. Moon makes good aspects to both Uranus and Pluto. So things, the mood lightens and things become easier to move on from, leave behind. So before that time, we are dealing with some heaviness regarding obligations and what we may not be emotionally connected with, but craving or needing. So we're looking at issues regarding our need for connection, our desire for connection, our capacity for connection. Those two things may not be in alignment for a lot of people. The vision we have for our life and our abilities, our capacities. So we're going to take a few hours out of the day to look at how we can have a life, particularly an intimate life, because that's moon stuff, that is more descriptive of the ideal that we would really like to live out, what our version of heaven on earth. So the sun is also in a sesquiquadrate to Pluto today. This has us looking at our use of power. Do we misuse our power in order to get what we want quickly and in accordance to the kind of immature validation we may be seeking? We're always looking at potential misuse of our personal power, our libido, our charm, our charisma with Sun Pluto aspects. We don't get into trouble with how we use our magnetism and our personal power with the easy aspects. But we're looking at a sesquiquadrate today. That's a minor hard aspect where we specifically look at how close do we get to a goal. How far do we roll that boulder up the hill before we fail? So are we paying attention to the moving parts? Are we being flexible in our pursuit of a goal? And so we have to stop and look around. Okay, do I need to adjust? Do I need to take current circumstances into consideration? Who is it that I'm involved with or trying to cooperate with? What are the other moving parts and pieces and people looking like there? So with this sesquiquadrate, when we stop to look around and reassess, we don't just keep rolling the boulder up the hill with this tunnel vision. That's where we can have success. We can win. We don't get to that place where there's so much working against us because we did not stop to consider, look around, retool, adjust, adapt. And then we let the boulder go and it just rolls over us back down the hill. And we've had a failure there. And so much of the time, we were like 80% or more there. Or we were close to whatever it was that we wanted to secure or to have success with, the kind of outcome we were looking for. So sesquiquadrates can be bastards to deal with because it does represent a lot of energy and investment that has gone into something, and then that potential for failure at the last moment or the last moments. So look at the difference between power and control. See, when we misuse our power, we are taking shortcuts and we're using control. And that means we're going to have to use more control. We're going to have to employ manipulation. We're going to have to employ tactics. We're going to have to keep our foot on the neck of something because we're not working with it. We see it as a potential threat or something where we must assert our dominance over it in order to secure it. And that will result in people, places, things, conditions hiding from us because they're not fully free. They're on our leash or under our control, so we don't feel insecure. Failure, if that's what's going on, because now you don't get to know what it is that you're trying to keep. It will hide from you. But if we're using power, if we're in our power, we're allowing things to come to us. We're magnetizing rather than grasping, keeping, controlling, manipulating, justifying. We're allowing. And that means that not everything will come to us or resonate with us. And that's when we get really good at letting go or not attempting to secure, control, trap, keep, what it is that we want, but is not on board with our pace or our plan. We let things be and we allow the things that want us to come to us. But that means we don't get to have everything. We don't get to keep everything. We only get to keep and vibe with and have security with what chooses us, what naturally is attracted to and magnetized towards us. And there is a beautiful security in that, unless we kill it with our improper use of power. We start to control it. We start to squeeze the life out of it. And then we can expect that there will be a shrinking, a hiding on the other end there, which can cause a real feedback loop, because that'll make us more insecure, want to grip more. People, places, things, conditions will shrink back from us more, and we'll want to grip more. And so when we come into that relaxation, we allow what's good for us to come to us and to remain, because we have the faith that what's good for us will be, and what's not, we can allow it to leave our life. We can give it permission to be what it is and understand that that's going to make room for something that is more appropriate. So some issues of power and control and emotional availability. That's some Pluto stuff, Moon, Saturn stuff today. So things do loosen up as the day goes on. We find it easier to move on. We're still going to have these Sun, Pluto things, which actually can be amplified with the Moon going into Aries, because we do have, what is the word? Frequently a less deep or more immature way of feeling. So it isn't the most reflective energy. So we can find ourselves more feeling gripey or maybe in blame, or spending some extra time working through some of our victim blame failure complexes with Sun Pluto stuff. So we just do our best and try to feel our way through it and not be too insufferable. And you guys have a good day. I'll see you tomorrow.